Hello, I'm actually still holding the phone exactly as I was with the previous video because this is all done in one big edit. It's even in the same timeline, but you wouldn't know because I cut it in half. This is the second part of the video I started last week. We ended it with Philips record players, we're starting it with more record players. And then there is this Sony. Now these either work or they have a screeching motor. What they do have though is a built-in preamp, so this is going into line signal input. And I'm going to turn on the preamp, which is now on. Good. And then we should hear a little thud when we turn it on. No thud. Usually you hear these preamps turn on. There is no stylus either. I think that is this one, if I'm not mistaken. These are really not that bad actually. They are nothing special of course, but they don't ruin your records and they usually work. So what more could you ask for? This one though, helps if you put the right fader up. There we are. Okay, so this will just work. I'll probably have to adjust the speed, but that will probably be all. Reject. There you go. These are great little record players actually. Kind of cute how the record goes outside of the dust cover. Do you see? Even here. Oh. Somehow put it back on when I auto started it by tilting it. Does the lift work? Yes it does. Does the auto shut off work? Yes it does. Simple. Okay, this one a quick clean and it's now looking very happy. Unfortunately there's a crack in the cover. I'm not sure if I already just mentioned that. I'm adding an adapter here because it also hides the belt. There we are. And it doesn't touch, so that's good. It has a crack in the cover. I did put just some tape on the inside so it doesn't crack any further, but of course this won't win any beauty pageants. Doesn't make it work any less good, so if anyone's looking for something cheap, these are great because they don't ruin your records, they have a pretty decent built-in preamplifier, and they're reliable as heck. Now here's something you didn't expect me to do. I'm gonna use fire to heat up this plastic so I can push it back in its shape, because this always somehow loses its shape and then this won't clamp. So I need to sort of guesstimate where it needs to be, hold it there for a bit so you can't see me, but here I am. And then usually this works fine again because it's just supposed to clamp in there, but it's sort of, yeah, a little more. I usually use a gas lighter for that, but my lighter broke, so now I use a match, which also seems to work fine. And it clamps again, just fine. So I'm gonna leave it like this for a bit so it can harden, but that's how you fix that. We've got a pile. We're actually almost through, guys. About fucking time. This is the Technics SLP100, and the relatively low model number gives me the idea that this is the entry-level machine. I kind of like the way it looks. It's very 80s. It feels solid as well. Let's see what we get. We get absolutely nothing. Let's open it up. Everything looks and works fine here on the inside, so I'm just gonna give the lens a clean and see if that solves our issue. No, it's not even spinning at all. It's not even trying. It has no clue there's a disc inside. There's no idea. So, yeah. Very dead. Oh, that's a pity. A cassette deck by Technics. And it has powered on. And it does eject. Now all we need is our test tape. Oh. Okay, it's got dirty tape detector switches. It tries to work. It keeps thinking I throw the tape out. Let me mess with these switches for a bit. Often that sort of sorts it out. There you go. Dirty switches. No sound though. So did I hook it up wrong? Oh yeah, of course. Running very slow, but sounding alright. Yeah, all functions seem to work. It runs slow, very slow, but actually it sounds like a pretty serious machine. Let's do some recording. It will sound better if it's running its designated speed, but we can at least see if it gets anywhere near. Tape detection is correct, it's indeed a ferric tape. Okay, let's see. Yeah! It's not completely perfect, but I didn't adjust the bias, which it has. It has manual bias, which is great. And it runs a bit slow, so it will sound better when it's running as it should. But that's really all, so that's not too shabby. That's probably capacitors. Chances are this will at some point start working. See how it goes on for us? There you go. Told you. Now it still doesn't have enough power to actually do anything, but it's waking up. I'm going to leave this one plugged in while I find a power supply for this record player, because it's got a 12-volt power supply. And there's none. It was probably once connected to a rack system or so. And currently it's not connected to anything, so you just get a bare wire. And I'm going to hook a 12-volt power supply up to that, which always works, which is how I like to get cheap record players for people. I just buy them in the thrift shops. No one dares to buy them because they have a weird plug. You can't just plug them into the mains. You add a 12-volt power supply, sometimes a ground, which is a bit annoying, but well. And Bob's your uncle, but there you go. That's all the power supply which I've got right now. Let's go grab something from the attic. So the tricky one with this is you can never really tell what the polarity is of a record player like this. So what I like to do is make sure the belt is on. It is. And then plug it in and real quick find out which direction it turns. Because if it gets it wrong, you definitely want to unplug it real fast. There you go, that's the wrong way. So now I change the polarity and everything should be fine. But do this for like 2 or 3 seconds and you'll fry the motor completely. So it is that. There we are. And it looks like I didn't ruin anything because everything appears to work as intended. Lift, yeah, works. Auto return. Works. Let's get a mat for some reason. Oh, I just took it off, damn it. Okay, still the caffeine thing, I guess. I was going to say for some reason it doesn't have a mat, but it does. I just took it off to check whether the belt is on. Yeah, this is the thing that happens. You sometimes do get a buzz and you do need to add a ground, although it's a very quiet buzz in this case. But that's not a biggie. You can always make a ground wire come from somewhere. Let's see what we get. Spot on. Just needs a ground then. That's very doable, so I'll give that a ground. You can just ground it pretty much on anything metal and you just pull it out through the back and you got yourself a ground wire. And that gets rid of the buzz. Because there's a buzz. Which is annoying. Just want to show it to you. The only thing metal on this record player on the outside is the center pin. So I got a ground wire here and the buzz is gone. That's how easy it is. So you just hook it up to anything that's grounded, which is pretty much anything metal on the inside, and you just make sure the cable makes it outside somehow. It's a pretty easy one to do. I'll do it right now actually. Well, this is a pretty easy one. There's actually a ground wire here that goes to a screw, and that screw works as a ground. So all I need to do is take that off, clamp this below it, and then feed the wire somehow into the record player, which is also very easy because there's a spare feed thing here. Probably if you use the version with a proper power cable. So I'm gonna do that. I'll show you how it's done. Actually, won't show you how it's done, too easy. It's just like, just clamp it there. But I'll show you when it's done. Well, there you go. I clamped it under the screw here, and then just sort of threaded it through this so it's nice and tight in there so you don't have any tension on the wire. And then you actually screw this whole contraption closed with the lid, of which I don't know where it is. Here it is. Because there's two screws going down this, so it can't even go anywhere either. This is one of the easiest fixes you can have. So you just go like, just gotta make sure the wire is not between the screw and the hole, obviously, but you would see that because you'll see a wire then. But you just go like this. He says, fighting his screwdriver. There we are. Oh, there we are. You screw them in, and you got yourselves one perfectly good ground wire, which is a bit on the long side, so I have to trim that a bit. But let's test it first. 1, 2, 3. Silence. And that's all there is to that. Almost forgot to get back to that. CD player is still dead, so this one is not waking up. Oh well. The last one, folks, it's the last one, and it's a bit of an oddball device that I hope works. It is a CD changer, CD recorder. So you get a changer on one end, so you can copy loads of CDs if you want that. I'm not sure why you want that or whatever. And a recorder on the other end. It's a pretty upmarket device, without remote unfortunately, but these do work completely with no remote. So that's there's your 3-disc changer, very cute. And this is your CD recorder, which does open if you're very patient. Okay, let's get 3 discs. 3? Okay, let's try that first. Okay, I'm sure there's a reason why when I press play it closes that one and says insert disc. And I know what the reason is. It's Philips software, because it's shit. Doesn't matter, let's see what we get. Yeah, that works. Then disc 2, let's just try 2 discs, should be fine. Well, it's not in a hurry. Does that really stop playing when I open that? Oh, Philips software is just the worst thing in the world. Okay, it's doing things now. CD3. I think CD2 is just too beat up. I'm not sure which one it was actually. Okay. We're not playing that. Open CDR. Open CDR. Am I impatient or is this thing just stupid? Off. On. Philips. Yeah, we could tell. Open CDR. Well, it worked once. It's very busy scanning those CDs now for some reason. Maybe I should... Okay, it's done with that. You do nothing, please. Open CDR. Can you tell I really don't like these machines? Well, as you see, we got it to open by resetting it, by unplugging and plugging it in again. They're just horrible devices, but we're still going to see if it records, because come on. How often do you get the chance to do this, right? Music source. Okay. I don't know how long this is going to take, because these are usually extremely slow. So let's wait for it to read the disc. It's now deciding whether it's an elephant or a bookcase or 2 cars. I don't know what it thinks, but it's not very speedy. Oh, it does see it's a CDR. That's good, that's good. The sounds it makes are worse than an inkjet printer. Who has got time for this? Just record a tape, for fuck's sake. Still initializing though. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. But I'm just gonna leave it be, because I feel like as soon as I touch it, it will lose its shit again. OPC error. Well, there you go. But does that mean we can't record? Insert disc. That's it for this one. Good night. He says at like 3 p.m. Good afternoon. Good day. See you next week. Thus concludes this rather short video. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a slightly longer one. But this is all I had time for this week. Hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. And I will see you on Friday.